Damn, I don't know how people survive, and maybe they don't. My stress levels are never really going down. It feels like they're increasing. It feels like everything is stacking against me. And the only a form of action is to take action, not to be passive. Because feeling passive is like the worst feeling to me. Also, look how cool it is. It's a dragon fruit. It's not a fire-breathing dragon. It's just is fruit. Isn't that crazy? Maybe that's why they named it that way. So I could make a nice thumbnail about Japan and stuff. Yeah, so I'm not sure how this thumbnail looks like, because I'm not gonna put a lot of work into it when I have to make these videos every single goddamn day, bro. Every day I have to do this. Just to drain TikTok. So welcome to What the Fuss Marathon. I've collected TikToks. My stress is very high, so I have a lot of things to say. Maybe even more so. I don't think I have anything to prime with. We can double check the candy. What is the last thing? Yeah, me wishing that celebrities have data to know who is the biggest fan. But, I don't know. I'm always somewhat glad that technology is slowly progressing, and every single change is a big deal that we have to adapt to. I'm kind of praising, even if a mistake happens, that it was meant to be, It's wonderful. We have to take it as it is. Because for me personally, I'm evolving naturally. I think, natural ways are the best. So I just see nature everywhere. The way you live your life is going to dictate your perspective very much. Because that's where you get your happiness from anyways. Very interesting stuff. Let's begin. There's nothing to introduce, unfortunately. Last episode I was like, oh, I want to do this and that. And so many things. Right now the plan is just to get Cyrex to 10,000 points and do my peace pop thing. I checked Lithuanian music a little bit more and found a new song, which is very difficult to enrich my playlist with an actually good song that has high energy and all that stuff. TikTok definitely doesn't provide anything, even though it kind of is trying to. But the dancing girls and all that jazz is just gone from my feed, so there's no music here, alright? Nothing that related. Maybe I can check Eurovision sometimes, but, like, that is just a default thing to do. It has nothing to do with TikTok. But TikTok does inspire me to find a lot of concepts and all that shit. It's just not musical concepts, okay? Alright, so we have to restart because... Where were we? So we're at this Japan thing. And it dictated the thumbnail, basically. I have no idea how many episodes I will have to make until we drain the swamp. But I haven't been doing this for a very long time. And I want to do 100% clear on all the ideas. It is just powerful material that most people not gonna get to see.
Hawaii Electric Industries' own website tells you everything you need to know. In windy weather, unattached tree limbs can be blown onto power lines, creating problems. A 10-foot minimum clearance from the lines is required for safety purposes. Like that kind of 10-foot minimum clearance. They say that they are legally required to maintain their facilities and equipment, like their power lines. They have a whole vegetation management program. They regularly inspect trees growing near power lines and contact certified vegetation management crews to trim trees growing into power lines, along roadways and throughout the island. And they always include a reasonable margin of safety above the absolute minimum clearance requirement, which is 10 feet. But let's not just go off of this one picture on TikTok, or this other picture on TikTok. I went for a nice stroll down Google Street View, found me a couple trees. I mean, there was really no shortage. Oh yeah, but all those trees are in people's yards. They should deal with it. Oh, don't worry, Highway 30 is pretty fucked too. And trust me, it's pretty easy to see when they're actually cutting trees away from power lines. Because there's a giant fucking hole in the tree. It's a lot better than burning down the whole island. So it's real fucking great that the Hawaiian Electric Company always goes above and beyond to ensure no less than 10-foot clearance from trees to power lines, as stated on their own fucking website. I'm sure that Scott Sue, the CEO of Hawaiian Electric, who got paid $4 million for doing such a good job.
Yeah, that's pretty shocking stuff. I mean, do we know how fires got started? Everyone's speculating about lasers, bro. Fascinating. This guy seems to have common sense. I do follow this guy. And that's why we're gonna do a very special thing and support Sniper Wolf, as always. There you go. My favorite YouTuber. Paul Joseph Watson. Let's go. Well, it's hard for me to focus on stuff like this. Also, it's just negative and it's gonna add more to my stress. Oh wait, that's the only thing that I watch on TikTok, just stressful mess. Because that's manly content right there. Very good stuff. This is why I have to, you know, offset myself. And my latest YouTube adventure was just fucking schoolgirls singing and stuff. Yeah, this is the offset that I need just to survive. I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's just too bizarre to be able to even get the full picture. Because someone has to investigate properly and just create a documentary for this whole thing. It's too messed up. It's just like 9/11. Like, when you documentary after documentary until like, oh shit, yeah, there's a third building that fell apart. Planes can't possibly destroy skyscrapers either. And there was some shady shit going on, and it looks shady as it falls apart. And it's like, well, also there's a huge incentive to create a war against terrorism and to scare people. So everything just triangulates into just the greatest conspiracy theory of all time. And why the fuck would people do that in power? But they're that crazy. People in power are just that crazy. And trying to sniff them out, which is always a possibility that we might, you know, encounter, even in our lives, you know, sniffing out authorities that are just absolutely crazy and doing stupid things. Like, my friends are crazy. You think authorities are not crazy? Holy shit, bro. I live a crazy life, and the only thing that keeps me sane is that I put effort into it. I actually care. I didn't stop caring all of a sudden. Didn't snap my fingers and start harassing and bullying people for the sake of, you know, self-empowerment. Again, that's the tree of knowledge. In order to entertain yourself, in order to feel fed, I wouldn't recommend making other people suffer. You have to have a very, very good and openly sourced purpose. Everyone needs to know about it when they ask, why are you doing this? And if authorities cannot be contacted and communicated with, they will start doing crazy things because they can't just get away with it in a way. Or so they think. God always communicates. Your inner morality always communicates. So yeah, when it comes to conspiracies against the people, they exist. It's a thing. And there's nothing to theorize about. It's just you see the whole picture, then you take it all in and move on with your life. Because your life is still a personal journey, and you will encounter your specific authorities your final bosses that you will have to cross through into, you know, the promised land of actually interacting with real people and not NPCs. Because that's what's on the other side of all of this. You can be a government worker, or you can just be a human being who enjoys having a good life. You know, that's it. That's what's the end of the rainbow.
Here's a tip to help save you in case you're afraid of getting robbed. So the first thing I did is I went on eBay and I bought about $50,000 worth of this imitation pretend $100 bill.
Basically, the ninja way of throwing a decoy, and a thief is gonna be so stressed out that they will just pick a decoy and just run away with it. Now, probably not the end of the story, but I mean, it's still a smarter way than just doing the NPC thing and not worrying about it until the last moment when you can't do shit. So yeah, having some decoys for the thieves to take away from you, absolutely. They will just get into more trouble. Like, especially if just bills are completely fake. Like, it's not really allowed, but is it? If you can give it to another person, it's theirs now. I have nothing to do with it. But these are, you know, this is just something you can buy. And this is just completely normal.
In stacks of 10,000. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go out and pick up a decoy wallet. Get one as cheap as you possibly can. I went to TJ Maxx, this thing was about $7. Next thing you want to do is you want to take some old cards. I got an old Starbucks card here that's got nothing on it.
It's so weird. It's a card game now.
On it, an old school ID that has no personal info. An old Costco card, and I stacked it with about 6.
The most important thing, this is kind of like my channel vibe, you know, just speculation of bad things happening, and I prepare to those bad things in this sort of weird fashion. That's how you doing, man. Again, like, we don't know what would actually happen, but like, we have a pretty good idea that people just gonna cling on decoys as the first thing to do, that it's very easy to trick them because they don't care that much. They really want your money and they're just gonna go away with it. But I don't know. I want more background story behind this, because I'm not a fucking tourist. I don't go outside walking around with cash in my pockets. It's just not what I do. Decoy house. Yeah, this gets crazy really fast.
$100 of this fake motion picture money. Now, if you're ever in a situation where somebody's trying to rob you, they get the decoy wallet, they take one look at it, and they see all that cash in there, they're gonna take off running, thinking they got away with, I don't know, $500, $1,000. Now, this is actually a much safer alternative than trying to pull your own weapon or whatever, you know, be a hero. Now, the rest of these stacks, those go in the safe I bought. Not the real safe, the decoy safe. The one that's really easy to break into, that's stacked to the brim with fake money.
It's kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. Just kind of weird. But
Here's a tip to help.
Yeah, it's still better idea. It's still something to trick, because the moment they leave your house, like, it's very difficult to come back to the crime scene. It's very difficult. Now you're gonna get caught way easier. Because you took a decoy, so you know you're dealing with a person who has prepared himself. You're dealing with a higher level person than you would normally encounter. So that's something. It definitely is scary. So I agree, this is good stuff.
Chopping an onion is one of the most common veg you're going to do, so you might as well know how to do it properly. So, first things first, there's two ways, slicing and chopping. Let's do slicing first. The kind of correct way to do it is to slice it in half, just like that. So that's one way. The other way, which is what I do, is get a nice clean tea towel, put it in the middle, take up the corners, and then twist it, which is what I do, and just smash it up. and just squash it, squash it, squash it, squash it, and then you can kind of squash it again, which is what I do 7 times out of 10, frankly. Now, another way to do it, which I think is kind of cute, this is the oldest kitchen gadget in the world. Obviously, it comes from rocks. And these will be relevant in different ways throughout my future. Top that up with a bit of oil. You can smell that 20 foot away. I can knock that out every single time. And I've done that many a time. And this is really tiny, but you know, it does actually work. We put our fingers on either side, like this, and just rub it around the perimeter of the skin, like that. Fingers tucked away. Now, all you got to do is just pop it in a brown paper bag with a banana. Now, as I do this, I'm starting to cry, so I'm going to be really quick. And once you've shaped it, beautiful, finely sliced onions. There you go. Easy.
I mean, I did not expect this to go wrong so fast, but I love where it went, just off the cliff, like how it's supposed
I want
to.
to know how the hell people in Canada are even living. I generally consider myself a positive person. I'm like resourceful, but some stuff happened around the property, and like, while I know I'll never truly be homeless, like I have family to live with, and you know, like I have options. Like I'm luckier than a lot of other people, but how the hell is anyone existing in Canada? Like I feel trapped, and like I just got a good job. I start in September, but even with that job, it pays less than 40 grand a year. And it's a job that requires like education, and even on that job, like I still can't do shit. I can't buy anything. I can't afford the rent these days. Like I'm just feeling so much despair. And I know I'm normally like really, really positive, but I'm just like, how is everyone else, and are you okay? Because the answer's probably no. And I know I'm lucky. I don't have kids.
Let me double check if she's not rambling all of a sudden.
A small house. I don't want 3,100 square feet bullshit. I just want.
Ah, yes, the small house. Yeah. You tell me. I don't know, man. If only I can get a job, that would be a good place to start. But getting a house in my place, yeah, only for rich people house, bro. For rich dumb people as well. I don't know, man. Financially speaking, it is crazy, right? Like, how would you survive if the food prices are so high? I don't know, man. That's why I don't want to listen to people like that who just in despair. Besides saying that, yes, even I make 40 grand a year, and that's definitely not enough to survive here. But then you start talking about, oh, I thought I would get a small house. Obviously, you wouldn't get nothing, bro. But it's just like, who cares? Life has changed, and you have to live a different way now with all this technology and interconnection. And we have to move from that position, from the good things, you know, to solve the bad things, not just cry about the bad things and pollute this platform or whatever, which is filled with all sorts of people, including me, a person who doesn't even bother having a car, a job, thinking about houses or having pets or having relationships. I don't even bother anymore. Like, I just stop bothering because I know it doesn't fucking work. Like, that shit doesn't work. We have to focus on other things entirely. Most of the stuff is sort of in the middle of bullshit, and it's not actually functioning. It's just people can have it if they really want it, if they really have the money for it, but it's just not functional, meaning it's going to be overpriced for the time being. All right? There's other things in hand that are functioning quite well. All right? they're still improving, and we have to capture those moments and share that instead. So unfortunately, I will pass and not smash.
This is how I tap water from a tree. The last time I couldn't find any fresh water source, I remembered a lesson from my childhood. First, you have to find a branch as thick as your arm to build a kind of a cup stand. Cut out the branch at 90 degrees angle from both sides and add a groove that serves to attach the branch to a tree by using a simple thin cordage. Drill a slightly index finger deep hole in the tree above the cup stand. Now insert a thin stick into the hole to guide the water droplet.
I'm sure there's better ways to make a cup stand. What the fuck? Wait, what? The hole is the only fucking thing that matters to me, bro.
Insert a thin stick into the hole to guide the water droplets into the cup. Drill a slightly index finger deep hole in the tree above the cup stand. Now insert a thin stick into the hole to guide the water droplets.
Yeah, I'll figure out the water thing myself. Don't worry about it. Well, at least we can always have fresh water from the forest. It's a little bit weird, but we'll survive somehow. And then eat grass or whatever. Eat weird grass things.
Okay, y'all really need to understand this, but you never lose money. You only gain things of value. The only time money leaves my bank account is when I have the belief that what I'm exchanging it for is more valuable than money itself. Because do not forget, money itself has no value. It literally by itself is worthless. It represents value. So when you go to the grocery store and you buy hot dog buns and sausages and mustard and whatever the heck you buy, you don't lose 50 bucks. You gained things of value represented by 50 bucks. So can you not see from this perspective that even spending money is actually super abundant, because every time you do it, you are gaining something of value. Likewise, every time you offer something of value, that is exchanged for money. You earn money. That's so abundant. So the money circulatory wheel, the circulatory nature of money, is so abundant in and of itself. Whether you are exchanging something of value or whether you are...
Okay, this is going off a cliff. It's just a very interesting perspective that you can exchange money for actual valuable things, and so you don't actually lose value. But I mean, you kind of just like eat money over time. You earn money and you consume money. There's probably a much better perspective than this. It's just, of course, the gratitude is built within her perspective. Like, you should be great. Like, what's the point of her perspective, right? Because that's all I see. Just, you should be grateful for gaining things that are just as valuable as money. Wow. Cool. I'm sure that matters in the big picture of things, because we still need money to survive. And our lives are gonna suck if we just scraping by, you know, if we just dragging ourselves and can barely afford happiness, you know, that sucks.
offering money in exchange for something of value. It's all abundance. So if you only remember this for the rest of your life, it will completely transform your relationship to money and your scarcity programming. But every time you spend money, you don't lose anything. You only gain something that you perceive to be valuable.
Again, it's just a twist. It might make you think, it does not make me think anymore. Because I know gratitude is a thing, and I also know that life is free. And any second you get to live longer, wow, that is amazing. But you also have to avoid suffering and pain. Like, you just have to avoid that. Which is very difficult. When you're stressed out, you know you're heading towards something potentially painful in your life, and you have to somehow dodge that experience. It is a perspective that is still behind me right now. It seems like. Yeah, technically the greatest judgment of all time is how long can you live while also being happy at the same time. And you can sort of rewind history to make stressful moments happy moments, because you learn so much in the future that the past doesn't look so bad anymore. It's kind of fancy. Or the way you think things played out, like a girl rejected you. Maybe she rejected you because she genuinely felt uncomfortable and incapable of having a relationship with you, and then you understand, like, yeah, that makes sense. All right, guys, it's time to become homeless and get things things that are valuable out of our money. But that's kind of true, right? Like, this is how businesses are built, and her perspective is pretty valuable if you truly buy valuable things, if you truly buy things that are more valuable than money, because usually food is not exactly more valuable than money. Like, you need it, but there's so many choices that if you just buy the cheapest food and just stuff yourself and not worry about the experience, you actually, gonna get the most value out of food ever. Obviously, you have to make sure that you're healthy and there's some variety, but that's how I have to do it. I have to buy the cheapest food so I can talk about it. But there's usually just pitfalls and scams all around us of trying to seduce us to spend more money, which is just something you have to cut off. It's like the easiest thing. But the other thing is, like, if you truly find something valuable, the most instinctual thing is to resell it to other people to make it more apparent, to just set up a stand post and just resell the goods that you found were actually very valuable, and you just get 10% margin or whatever. You just get a good deal and resell the goods yourself, because you just basically looted the store. Like, if that was a thing, if this is how we looted stores, by actually buying things and reselling things, I would be so fucking happy, bro. Because anyone can build a business in that sense. Anyone can just find something valuable and resell it on the streets, in a way, or just the marketplace. I don't care. I just don't see that happening right now, and this would liberate a lot of people, but it's just not happening. So yeah, buy greater value. That's the greatest thing, and get even more money out of that. But basically, exchanging still, you're creating your own job at that point, and that's really powerful. Man, I want to see the size of those things. I don't know, it's kind of like 3 shirts or whatever. Maybe like 2 pants size. It's kind of unusual shape, but I don't know, if it's comfortable, it's comfortable, bro. If it's cheap and convenient and it's filled with air, fuck yeah, let's go. That's why I liked it. Honestly, that's how you make coolest things. You just fill it with air, and it just expands into this cool thing that you didn't expect was possible. Yeah. Anything's like that. It's the most basic cool thing. Besides technology, which only recently became cool, and well, this is also I don't know, bro. I don't know. This is just you know, one of those oddly satisfying things. Whatever.
So you're never going to believe what happened today. Saudi Arabia just cut ties with the US dollar. This is the first time in 100 years that the dollar has had a real challenge. Just so we're clear, Saudi Arabia is one of the richest countries in the world with oil. And the dollar has been backed by oil. It's been called the petrodollar. See, the dollar used to be backed by gold. For every dollar, there was a piece of gold backing every dollar. But in 1972, 3, around there, President Nixon took us off the gold standard. So ever since then, it's been backed by nothing but oil. Really nothing, though. That's why we're able to print as much as we want. That's why we have such inflation going on in the United States and around the world. So to stay in power, we forced countries to buy oil with the dollar, and only the dollar. And if they didn't, we would go in, we'd invade their country, and we would blow them up. Well, you can't just go invade Russia and invade China. They're superpowers with nuclear weapons. There's nothing you can do. And those are two countries that said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to use the dollar. Now, they did to an extent, right? We slapped sanctions on them and stuff like that. So they did to an extent. We had partnerships with Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia said, no, we're only going to accept dollars. But that is no longer happening. Now, what does that mean for you and I? Well, that's where the BRICS nations comes in. You got Brazil, China, Russia, India. Now you got Saudi Arabia, and many other countries are joining the BRICS nations because they're sick and tired of the dollar. They're sick and tired of the United States and the warmongers. If the U.S. doesn't get their way, and I'm from America, I love the country, I love the concept, I love democracy, I love the republic, I love some of the people, not all of them, depends on which side you're leaning. But my point is, the country as a whole and the idea...
Depends on which side you're leaning, bro. He literally just fucking stabbed himself in the face with the same fucking attitude that America literally has. If you're not on our side and you're not using dollar the way that it was intended, then we have to declare war just because it's the default thing to do. You're not on our side, so we're not gonna feel bad for you if you get attacked and stuff. That's it, bro. As in BRICS is South Africa, by the way. No, it's Saudi Arabia now. Shut the fuck up. Who are you, bro? Who are you to tell us? Now it's Saudi Arabia. Now we changed it. All right? Shut the fuck up.
I don't know, man. Hearing news this week that the United Nations had a vote on whether or not food was a right, and finding out that the United States is the only country that said no, really doesn't make me want to go outside.
This is about the 10th video I've seen where a creator talks about how they just heard about the United Nations vote on the right to food and how the United States voted against it. I noticed what was common about most of these videos is that the creator was quick to talk about how they feel on the matter and wanted to leave out all of the information that would have left their audience just a little more pissed. Like this map that you see a lot of the creators using to talk about this. The problem with the map is not that it's inaccurate. The problem with the map is that it's from 2021. And if you're wondering why you're just hearing about, that's because they didn't tell us. It wasn't in the news, whether it be national or local. It wasn't in the newspapers. It wasn't in any magazines. They didn't have a press conference on this. They just straight up hoped that we would not find out. This is where it starts getting good, because not only was this vote made during a Democratic presidency, but along with this vote, the ambassador got to make a speech on why they decided to vote that way. The speech itself is rather lengthy, mostly with the ambassador disagreeing upon the language of what they were being asked to agree to, mainly when it pertained to pesticides and other things. But there was one part of their speech that did stand out among the rest. The United States supports the right of everyone to an adequate standard of living, including food, as recognized in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Domestically, the United States pursues policies that promote access to food, and it is our objective to achieve a world where everyone has adequate access to food. But we do not treat the right to food as an enforceable obligation. Keep in mind, when they said we, they're referring to our government. So our government stance on this is that everyone should have adequate access to food at all times, but they should not be the ones responsible of making sure people have it. Of course, why would the government feel obligated to feed its people when 10% of them are going fucking hungry? They don't feel that it's their responsibility to feed their own fucking citizens.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking, I would say, when we can solve the basic problems now, but we can't allow ourselves to do it for some fucking reason. There's some kind of pin holding us from just solving the basic problem. But there is a pin that I detect, is just people's behavior is not in the right place right now. Like, we literally don't deserve food. That's where we are right now. I mean, I'm not siding with people sometimes because I just don't like them. They're not vocal enough to even ask for that to happen. Just at least ask to me, so I understand the vibe and I project the same vibe, just bounce things around. No one wants to be my friend, so do I really fucking think people deserve food by default? Yeah, sure, man. Sure. You know, I didn't get this free money from the government out of nowhere. I have been, you know, locked away for a year. I have a completely different experience and awareness on the shit that is happening around me. I feel like I deserve things and other people don't deserve things. You know, because they already seem to fucking have it and be really happy, but not very happy when you approach them, so they just want privacy and all that shit, and they just want to disappear into nowhere. Who knows what they want at this point? I can't even properly investigate and have a conversation. So, again, yet I just don't see it. I just don't see the problem. You can see, like, people are yapping their own thing, and I just don't see it. When I start putting effort into it, I'm like, no, yes, it's outrageous, but like there's no solution to it because the problem is much deeper and more complicated. You know, life is complicated because, again, you always have to look for things that you need, and those things that you need have to interconnect you with other things you have to discover, all the variety of things you need. So you do a variety of things in life, so not a single second of your life gets wasted. Otherwise, it's suffering. It's just pain of just being bored with that alone, or just being unhappy in general. You know, once you feed yourself, what is the next thing you do? You just binge TikTok? There's nothing to be outraged about, nothing. So what Americans are doing, they're sort of like, they always have to be slightly ahead of everyone. And they're creating this outrage culture of just saying the most outrageous things and seeing if people are going to be able to do something and actually take action instead of just feeding themselves with outrage. You know, someone handed you outrage and you just put it in your mouth. Like, this is the most straightforward bullshit thing. So be careful with that. Like, obviously, if you looked face to face to someone, they probably wouldn't be able to say the same thing, or they would be able to explain things a little bit more carefully. But yeah, like this, the world is twisted beyond belief. And for me, a simple solution is just more communication, is to understand that nothing is obvious, but there are some principles that you can follow to make your life better. And that's, you just start with yourself. If it's obvious because it's obvious when you do it to yourself, you know, you can make obvious progress by applying it to yourself. And that's it. The most obvious progress is the one you apply to yourself. And that is very powerful stuff. So yes, you can eat outrage, but what are you gonna do about it? Maybe ask that question. Because you should be able to do something. Otherwise, you just lost the chess game because you ran out of moves. You know, this is, it works like that. It's pretty fancy.
I don't know, man.
I'm so sorry to break it to you, but when a white man says konnichiwa to you because he thinks you're Japanese, that's not racism, it's an honest mistake. Because whether you like it or not, we Asians all look alike to them. In fact, when I go to Asia, I'm often mistaken for Thai or Filipino, but it really doesn't matter. Most Europeans look alike too, but if you accidentally say hello instead of bonjour, I guarantee no one's gonna get offended. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but
Well, I have nothing to say, no comments.
She can't afford to buy a home in the township she leads.
Earning around $90,000 a year, she can't afford a home in the municipality she leads.
Living in this region is really not attainable for a young professional who has university debt, and I know I'm certainly not alone in that.
She says many of her own friends in their late 20s are unable to afford homes in Wilmot too.
She can't afford to buy a home in the township.
She doesn't look that fucking young, though. What's going on? What the fuck? He's just kind of mindfuck, basically. But yeah, mindfuck. Maybe what? Yeah, I have no comment again because my mind got fucked.
I have a formula, and the formula has got this acronym called SHIELD. SHIELD means armor to protect yourself. S, sleep, 7 hours. H, how to handle stress, meditate.
What if I want to sleep for 6 hours? It's still a fucking S. You're not gonna stop me. Alright? Might even fucking squeeze sex for 1 hour. Imaginary one, because can't have real one right now.
I, interaction, such as discussing with you today.
Oh.
In other words, engage.
Oh! Holy shit. He's so excited. See? That's crazy. Your interaction, oh my god.
In conversation, have relationships to discuss. And the E. What's the E, dude?
E!
Exercise.
Oh, okay.
Every day, I either play a bit of tennis, a bit of golf, 9 holes of golf, I walk the course, I try to swim, and I do gardening. 4 things. You just do a bit of each every day. L means learn. Learn something. Even at this age, learn something. So now I'm trying to learn some simple technology. So for example, I learned to edit videos.
Really? That's
audios.
impressive. D.
Diet.
Wow, this one very difficult for Singaporeans.
You have to moderate your intake of carbohydrates.
Low carbo.
Low carbo. Sugar.
Shut the fuck up about your diet, bro. What? Honestly, we pass. We're not smashing that one.
The cost of housing is astronomical, but what happened in the past 4 years is the problem. Check out the difference between 1995 to 2019 to 2023. So the complaining from us millennials started probably 2020, but this is why. So the past 4 years is the problem. This is why millennials and first time.
This is how much income we have to use on housing. Oh my god. Yeah, and we went into a crisis period. How cool is that? Without ability to do anything about it. Without ability to take action. Because I want to just scroll TikTok right now. But that's the whole point, right? Like, think of what you're doing. How little space you actually need now because of all this technology. And move to an apartment. Forget your fucking houses. They're just abandoned, you know, grass fields surrounding the house. No one's going out. No children are going outside and playing outside. No one's barbecuing anything. No one probably even communicates anymore with other families, you know. We're just complaining on TikTok. This is what we do. It's our pastime. And honestly, I mean, now we just embraced it properly. We have things to complain about. I think we're all happy now. I don't see anything bad going on. I think we all got what we deserve. You know, it's just some people pay a ridiculous rent for some reason. Like, we could be organized and we could find great solutions, but no one wants to fucking start doing that. The only thing I can do is also just complain that, hey guys, you're not even thinking in the right direction. We're not even going the right direction yet. So I can just do whatever the fuck I want as well. Except every now and then I have to bitch about other people bitching about things in a wrong way and not realizing how stupid they are in comparison from my perspective. You know, normally, like, if an influencer, if a somewhat rich or wealthy person or just established person starts bitching about things, like, they lose respect instantly. Like, they're just a bad person because they're not supposed to do that. Either you don't upload a fucking TikTok and just live your life, or your problem has to be actually relevant and reasonable, and someone can actually help you somehow after you bitch about it. Like, it's, you know, it has to be human thing and not just like some kind of graphic. I've seen a TikToker just upload a fucking moving snake or just fill in some precious time for some reason. You know, the TikTok pays for, like, if your content is like over a minute or something, and you can bitch about that for some reason. Like, just follow the fucking rules. What's the problem? But yeah, some TikTok creators, if you follow them for long enough, they just turn into some cancerous garbage, and eventually have to stop following them. Funny enough. So there's nothing, no credit needed for creators. Even this guy just does the same thing when you look into his stuff. You know, we have already seen him do this thing many times now, and that just gets boring. The best thing you can do in life is just explore, just forget about things, just live life. Because if you're going to get stuck in one repetitive motion, that's torture. It's not even just suffering, it just eventually is the easiest transition to torture. The torture next doors, basically, mentality. If you could just keep doing the same thing, just slightly different. No, bro, don't do that. Don't feel like you're contributing to society that much across the internet. On TikTok. TikTok has a specific, you know, ecosystem that you have to crack through, and this ain't it. Becoming a meme is the easiest, straightforward way to do it. It's just straightforward ways are never the answer either. All right? You have to live life. You have to put life into it. And straightforward is just, you know, suicide is straightforward. Killing yourself is straightforward. If you don't think about it, you know, that's what straightforward means. If you truly want something, you circle around it, and you're almost like guaranteed to get it for free. You know, you can't bitch about something if you really want something. You know, I want 1 million subscribers. I can just repeat that over and over again. And that's actually, you know, a method that everyone knows is the law of attraction. But you literally have to vocalize your desires, and it has to repeat itself. That's the meme, right? Vocalize desire. But if you get that thing, then it's very difficult to repeat the vocalization because you already got something you really wanted. Now you have to use it. You can't just go to the next thing and start bitching about a luxury car or something. You lose your soul doing that. You know, you have to truly want something. It has to truly, like, fill in the gap in your life. And so I've seen plenty of people making mistakes on TikTok and just losing reputation dramatically. After you make a mistake, it's very difficult to recover. But that's why I have to keep up with the Kardashians of all these people around TikTok. And you have to do different things ever so slightly. Just a little bit more different than this, just to make people comfortable with you. Like, that's not what you should be seeking. If people get comfortable with you doing, like, you get nowhere with that. It's not an achievement of any kind.
McDonald's hash browns or fries? Which one is the bigger ripoff? You can't compare the two, Chef, but they're not the same. Yes, I can. I'm doing.
Funny thing is, I keep finding him in a different fucking car, and that makes me uncomfortable. And that's yet another way to not do things whatsoever. Also, he replies to everything but me. Me saying yes you can is somehow not good enough effort for him. Not fucking... First is more important to him than an actually powerful comment. Like, I feel offended, guys. You must understand. This guy pisses me off.
It right now. We are only going to look at food to dollar value. A single hash brown costs $3.14 after tax and it weighs 50 grams. While a small fry costs $3.45 and weighs 79 grams. And doing some math, we see that the fries gives you 44% more food per dollar. Guys, if you're getting the McDonald's hash brown...
This is genuinely something, that sort of work that you would be able to open donations for. You know, donate me if you found it very, very useful. Anytime you buy hash browns, you're like, shit, maybe I should donate this year or what, this month to this guy. Whatever, right? Because he helped me pick a cheaper food or whatever that I still like because it's fast food. Or at least he brings awareness. I don't know. It's just, when you're dealing with deals, with capitalism and taking advantage of capitalism, like, those kind of people do deserve donations in general. I feel like that's one of the actual... Also, this guy also didn't get a reply. Keep up with the good work. The only thing he can read is just one word. Fascinating. And reply to. Not just that. And reply to. Fascinating stuff. So no, you don't deserve donations because you suck. Oh! But again, there's a whole ecosystem of donations. Of you should be able to, again, have virtual money of some kind, and even tokens of some kind, because a lot of companies would dare to, you know, reward you for engaging with them. Just, they will give you tokens, and you can spend tokens all across the internet. Until we have that, we can't really reward creators in a significant way. We just can't. So this is what TikTok generation should be waiting and salivating over. The actual Bitcoin, the actual token system that everyone would just jump on board because it's easy to use and stuff. Until that happens, like, we can't actually give credit to creators. Let's put it that way. It doesn't fucking matter if you just fill your brain with a bunch of you know, names of creators. I'm sure this guy has a cool name though. Ethan Evaluation 9310. Yeah, that's a pretty good fucking name. I will support this guy anytime. He does have the word evaluation in his name, and I love that word. Because that's what this is called. An evaluation button. Look at that. He needs one of those in his life. On his wrist, you know. Except he has this five-star rating that shows up that he has to edit for. See, the greatest challenge for me personally is establish a position where you don't have to edit your videos. If my channel somehow blows up, like, I have succeeded as a human being, for real, because I don't edit my videos. That's the greatest thing about my channel, or the greatest challenge, basically. I know I put people off really quickly, but if I can somehow drag them through a long time, because probably even dedicated fans can only watch like 10-20 minutes of my content, but still, if I can drag them in, like, that is a power move right there. I don't have to edit. I can just chill and talk about things and connect with people. Like, I'm promoting something completely unheard of, at least on YouTube, and I just can't do it on TikTok, but I can definitely promote myself on TikTok, and I can definitely show good examples of how to do things. Or just, you know, make two-minute videos if I want to. If I get comfortable with doing that. Sure. It's just my life, my physical life, where you pick up a camera and show your physical life. My physical life sucks balls. It's the digital life that matters to me. And I can't just make a clip that easily, the vertical clip. The easiest way to do it is with a phone, and not with a fucking computer. That's the problem. That's why I'm not making TikToks. And I just have to appreciate the you know, the way things go, the way things flow. It's just very natural, if you can sense that. Okay, you don't have to see that. You just have to see the rating in the end.
Wow!
Yay, it works. Yeah. I can't wait to find something that would shave me, 'cause that's a problem.
If I asked you, how do you strengthen your biceps? Do you know what exercise
By attacking nerds and smashing them with a Bible.
you need to do? You probably know you need to do a bicep curl. But what if I asked you, how do you strengthen your voice? It blows my mind that this is the most important instrument in our lives.
You do it with... It's so annoying. You're gonna see it, bro. You're not gonna believe it, bro.
Yet we don't get taught how to strengthen it. Not in primary school, not in high school, not in tertiary education, and not even in our professional career.
Not even in testicular education.
Let me share with you one of the most effective exercises to better strengthen your vocal cords to give you a more powerful sounding voice. The first step is you have to do a lip flutter, which looks like this. Do that for one entire breath.
He's gonna evolve slowly, guys.
And then repeat another 2 times, therefore doing it a total of 3 times. Step 2, we're gonna break it up. Do the same thing, but do it in spurts.
I'm sure the numbers matter, guys.
Now what you do is you do the lip flutter again, except you add sound. Try to maintain a constant pitch, so you do it like this. You must repeat that 3 times in total. Step 4, you do a lip flutter, just one, except you're going from a low pitch to a high pitch. And step 5, the final one, just lip flutter your favorite song. Record your voice and how you sound now on your phone and label it with today's date. Do this exercise every single day. And in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, record.
Here's my favorite song. See you next time. Anyways. Do I do this till failure? Very interesting. How do I progressively overload this? Very interesting. The gym rat in me got excited when he said biceps. Very cool comments, I think. Anyways. No, this is not gonna improve my sound quality. Not at all, guys. I'm already pretty happy with the way that I sound. But cool. Cool. I can make fun of this guy. Hopefully that works. It's the most natural thing I can do. Is just when someone says something stupid, I will be like, because like the hardest thing to do is like force yourself to do something on purpose. But you can force yourself to do something if it's meaningful. So again, if you say something stupid, you're gonna get some out of me, dude. You're gonna get some, and I'm gonna have a better voice than you do. All right, bye, guys.